It is July the 25th, 2025, and I hope everybody's been having a wonderful day so far today. I hope everybody's having a great start to their weekend. Hope everybody has a great sober weekend this weekend as well. It is rather late right now. It's like 8:30. I had come out here earlier to film and had a blood sugar crash right in the middle of filming my video. My blood sugar was like 190 when I sat down to film, and it dropped down to 49 within like a couple of minutes. I do not understand how it drops so quick. It never drops that fast. It'll go down that quick, you know, over like a half an hour or something if I don't tend to my blood sugar really fast. You know, if I notice there's a trend, because I'll get an alert on my phone. It'll tell me, you know, hey, your blood sugar's starting to drop pretty quick, because I wear a Dexcom G7, which any of you guys have diabetes. I know that they're kind of expensive, but man, it sure does beat pricking your finger all the time. You know, you can just take a look at your phone and see what your blood sugar is at any given moment. But my point is that my blood sugar just dropped out of nowhere, and I got really ill for a couple of, well, not a couple of minutes, for about an hour. It kind of put me out. So I had to hang out for a little bit, get my blood sugar back in order, and now I'm back out here, and it's about to get dark. So I'm going to try to keep today's video as short as I possibly can. I don't want to sit out here and keep talking and it gets dark on me. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about today is, you know, something I've been thinking about all day, and what that is that I wanted to discuss today is that desperation that we can get sometimes, you know, especially in the beginning of our sobriety, or if, you know, we're in active addiction, especially in active addiction, but also too in the beginning of our sobriety. And it could be at any time of our lives or whatever, but I think that a lot of times, you know, especially when we're in active addiction and when we're like really bad, you know, because there's times where, you know, we might be drinking or using and it's not as bad as another time, you know, where we're really deep into it. And you guys know what I mean by that. You know, when you're like binge drinking all day, every day for like a couple of weeks, and it'll start to really mess with your head after a while. When you've been doing that for quite, you know, for some time, you'll start to get a little bit crazy. You know, when you're staying up all night long drinking, you know, you're getting 2 hours of sleep every night, you're waking back up in the morning to go to work, you know, and then on top of all this stuff, you know, you're not sleeping, you're not getting proper rest, you're absolutely not eating properly, because if you're anything like me, you know, you kept an empty stomach so that alcohol could kick in immediately. You know, you're getting 100% of the alcohol content. It doesn't, you know, it goes straight to the bloodstream on an empty stomach. And like I said, if you're anything like me, you don't eat, or you didn't eat when you were in active addiction. And so, like I said, you're not getting proper nutrition, you're not getting proper sleep. You're pouring this poison, or whatever the poison that you're taking, you're just constantly putting this in your body. You know, so you're straining out your liver, you're straining out all of your other organs, and, you know, one of our most important organs is our brain, and, you know, it's not getting what it needs either. And like I said, you'll start to get a little bit crazy, especially after you've been binge drinking for any amount of time. But my point to all this is that desperation that we get. When we get to that point, you start to feel like you're never going to be able to get yourself out of it. You know, and then things start happening. Our relationships start to crumble. You know, you might, let's say you're in a marriage. Your marriage might start falling apart, or you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, that relationship starts falling apart. And not just that relationship either. You know, because oftentimes when we're in active addiction, all of our relationships start to fall apart. It's not just, you know, our romantic relationships, but our friends, our family. You know, and then you start running out of people to turn to. You know, you've been lying to these people for so long. They don't trust you anymore. Every time that you try to speak to somebody about something, they ask you, you know, a question multiple times because they don't believe what you say. And, you know, it's not like you can blame them, you know, because you've been telling lies, you know, over and over again. You've gotten caught telling lies as well. And, you know, they start to get frustrated with us and they don't believe what we're saying. And it can be really, really frustrating, too, when you know that you're telling the truth about something and they don't believe you. You know, you're telling them, I promise this is the truth. And they're looking at you like, I don't believe what you're saying. And that can be really, really frustrating, too, when you know good and well that you are telling the truth and it doesn't matter what you say. They don't believe a word that's coming out of your mouth. It can just, it's like you're hitting a brick wall at 100 miles an hour. It's so hard to get through that because you feel like no one's ever going to trust you ever again. You feel like all your relationships are falling apart. Nobody wants to be around you anymore. Nobody wants to spend time with you anymore. Your phone's not ringing anymore. Nobody's calling to talk to you any longer. All of your friends have distanced themselves from you. The people that you work with don't want much to do with you anymore either because you've been lying to them as well and they've caught you in lies. You know, it's what we do when we're in active addiction. I'm not saying that everybody in active addiction lies, but a lot of us do. And for the most part, we're trying to conceal the amount that we're consuming or conceal the fact that we're consuming it all. So we'll lie about it. You know, we'll say, I'm not drinking. I haven't drank today. I didn't drink last night. I only had one beer when you know that you drank, you know, a liter of vodka. Whatever it may be. But, you know, the thing is, like I said, our relationships start to crumble. We start to lose our sanity. We start to go crazy. You know, when you're going on and on and on, binge drinking for, you know, let's say 3 weeks straight, and you're getting 2 hours of sleep every single night, you're not eating anything, you're not hydrating yourself properly, and then, like I said, you know, your relationships are all starting to fall apart. You're probably starting to have problems at work. You know, your boss is starting to get annoyed with you because you're showing up to work late. Your performance is lacking at work. Your appearance is not there. It's lacking. You know, if you're a male, you haven't shaved in, you know, a few days and you've got stubble all over the place, and you know, your hair is a mess. You haven't gone to the barber in the past couple of weeks, and your clothes are all wrinkled, and, you know, because you're too hungover to do your laundry. So, you know, you just throw your clothes on the chair in your room, or you throw them on the floor, or you just throw them at the end of the bed or whatever. And you wake up the next morning to go to work and realize that you still don't have any dirty clothes because, I mean, you don't have any clean clothes because you didn't clean your clothes the night before, and you felt too bad to get any laundry done recently because you've been binge drinking so much, and your life has become all about getting intoxicated. That's all it has become. So you're lacking in every area. You haven't gone to the store and bought groceries in a couple of weeks. You open up the refrigerator, you know, every single time it's the same thing. You open up the fridge and stand there with the door hanging wide open, like this time food magically appeared in the refrigerator. You haven't gone to the grocery store in 3 weeks. Nothing's going to magically appear in there, but you keep opening up that refrigerator like there's going to be something in there this time, and all there is a bottle of ketchup, you know, a half a bottle of mustard, and you know, some leftover Chinese food from 2 weeks ago that's in there that you keep picking up and sniffing, and you're you know, trying to make the choice, you know, the decision in your mind: should I eat this or not? Is it going to make me sick? I'm so hungry and there's nothing else to eat in this house. You know, these are the things that happen, and we start to get really frustrated. And like I said, we start to go a little bit crazy, and just our relationships are falling apart, our work's falling apart, our personal lives are falling apart, our romantic lives are falling apart, and we can feel like we have just ran up against a wall. And it can be so frustrating. And these are the times where we feel like we just want to give up. These are the times where we feel like it's just not worth trying anymore. You know, these are the times where we feel like this is going to be my life forever. I'm never going to be able to get my life together. I'm just going to, this is the way I'm going to end. You know, I'm going to go out drinking or using or whatever it may be because I can't get my life together. But the point that I wanted to talk about this today, and the reason I brought all of those scenarios up, and you know, the fact that because it ends up like this, you know, just every single part of our life starts to crumble before our eyes. Like I said, our personal relationships, our work relationships, our family relationships. Your mom and dad don't want to speak to you anymore. Every single time you call them, they don't answer the phone. Or if you do speak to them, it's very short, it's very brief, it's very dry. You could tell that they really don't want to speak to you. Probably because they're wondering if you're going to call to ask to borrow some money, or what lie do you have to tell them this time, or you know, you need to come over there and do something because you know you can't do it at your house. Let's say your power's cut off or something like that because you haven't paid your electrical bill because you're using all your money for booze, and they're thinking you're just calling because you want to come over there and take a shower or something, or just hang out in the air conditioner for the day, and they don't want to speak to you, and you can sense it, you can feel it. And you feel like your whole entire world is crumbling around you at that period of time. It can be really, really hard to get through these times. I completely understand. I was there too. And guys, I'm so sorry it is so dark out here right now and the lighting's so bad. I didn't think to like grab a light to set up or anything before I came out here. Hopefully it'll stay bright enough for me to finish this video and I can go ahead and get this edited and uploaded. But once again, I'm really sorry it's so dark in this video, guys. I'm just trying to get this film with the amount of light that I have. But anyway, like I said, these are the times when just things feel like they're just falling apart all around you at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you feel like there's no way out of this. But there is a way out. And the point of today's video is that I just wanted to bring some hope for any of you guys that are out there watching this right now that are going through that exact scenario I was just describing. You know, where nobody wants to be around you anymore. No one trusts you anymore. You're broke. You don't have any money. You know, you can't pay your rent. You're 2 months behind on that. You're about to get evicted. You can't pay your car note. That's about to get repossessed. You know, in your last move that you made, you lost half of your possessions because you got kicked out and they threw your stuff out on the curb, and just everything in your life feels like it's falling apart, and the bill collectors are calling you 20,000 times a day, and you don't even answer your phone anymore because every single time you answer, it's a bill collector, and they start getting sneaky, and they're calling from, you know, these area codes that are where you live at, and it looks like a number from like a house phone or a local business or something, and you answer it, and it's a bill collector out in India somewhere. And then next thing you know, they're hounding you. Well, can you pay $10, $5? We just need something today. And you don't have 2 pennies to rub together. And you know that this is all stemming from your addiction, from your AUD or whatever the substance may be. And you don't see any way out. And the only thing that can fix these problems that you're in right now is to go back and use more. Because that's what you do when you're having a bad day. That's what you do when your emotions are like that. That's what you do when your life starts to fall apart. You go back to the thing that makes you feel better. And we get caught in this repetitive cycle over and over and over again. And you wake up in the morning and you feel hungover so bad, like you're not even going to be able to make it through the day, but you've just got to get that drink in you to make the shakes go away. And it's been like this for the past 5 years, every single day. And you feel like there's no way out, but there is a way out. There is. Before I go into this, just please speak with a doctor if you're thinking about getting sober. You know, I'm not a doctor. I'm not affiliated with any healthcare professionals or anything like that. I'm just a guy. But I do have tons of experience with being an alcoholic or a person with AUD. And I have experience with all the health complications I have because of my drinking. And I have a lot of experience in going through these emotions and going through these really hard, dark times that we go through. There is a way out. one of the first things that we have to do is we have to sober ourselves up, because the substance, whether it be alcohol or something else, whatever it is, it depresses us. It's messing with all of your chemicals in your brain, your dopamine, your serotonin, was it Nora? I can't remember how to pronounce that, but just every part of your brain is just haywire. You know, your dopamine is completely out of whack. You know, dopamine is not supposed to be something that we just get these huge surges of. You know, it's supposed to be like the reward chemical. You know, it's when you do something good or something, you know, you get some food, you get a little bit of dopamine. You know, it was to push us and make us want to do things. You know, it's not to, you know, go drink 2 cases of beer. And if you're doing that every single day and you're just depleting all the dopamine in your body, you're gonna feel bad. It takes time for our bodies to get back into homeostasis. It takes time for us to get back to baseline. It takes time for all those chemicals to start straightening themselves out and get back the way they're supposed to be and at the proper levels. You can't expect for this to just, you know, you quit and then the next day you wake up and everything feels great. But with time and hanging in there and holding on to your hope and just trying your best, whatever that is, just try your best. Just keep pushing forward. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep trying. Just don't stop trying. If you fall down, then just pick yourself back up and try again. I know that's easier said than done. Trust me, I've been there. I know. I know how hard it is after you've, you know, tried to quit and relapsed over and over and over again, and you feel like you're such a failure. You feel like it's just never going to stop, that you're never going to get your life back in order. But the truth of it is that you can. You absolutely can do it. It's not easy to do. It does take hard work, but you can get your life back. It's waiting for you right now. Your best life is waiting for you. If you have stopped, if you have quit, and you're on day 7 of sobriety, and it's Friday night right now, and you're struggling, and all you want to do is go get yourself a beer, don't do it. Just keep hanging in there. I know it's not comfortable. I know it feels horrible. I know how hard it is just to make it through the night. I know what it's like to have RLS, or restless leg syndrome, and you're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning soaked, drenched in sweat. And you've got to get up and change your pajamas because they're so wet, and even lay a towel on the bed and change the bed sheets maybe because there's so much sweat there. Or you're waking up in the middle of the night and throwing up, or you're getting up in the morning and throwing up because you're going through withdrawal and it's making you so sick. And you know that all you have to do is reach for a cold beer or a cocktail and all this will go away. Just keep hanging in there and keep pushing forward. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult, but it can be done. If you fall down, pick yourself back up. You're not a failure until you stop trying. We all relapse for the most part. It's just part of this. It happens. Don't beat yourself up if you've relapsed. Just get back up and do it all over again. And if you relapse again, dust yourself off and try it again. And rinse and repeat until it sticks. It will stick at some point. I know how tough it is when you're going through these dark times and you feel like the whole world is crushing down on you, and you feel like the whole world doesn't want anything to do with you anymore. But you can start over again, and you can rebuild those relationships. And the ones that you can't rebuild, then so be it. It is what it is. But you can make new relationships. And with time, time heals all wounds. With time, letting those wounds heal and showing people, not telling people, but showing people that you mean business, that you're serious about this, that you do want to correct this and get your life back in order. By showing people and showing those people that don't want to speak to you anymore, showing them that you really mean it this time and staying sober, those relationships could repair themselves. They could heal, and they might turn around. Maybe not, Maybe so. Only time will tell. And the only way for you to know is to stay or get sober and just keep pushing forward, holding on to the hope. And when you fall down, you pick yourself back up again. Like I said, I know how difficult it is. I know what that feeling feels like. It's the worst feeling in the world. You feel like you've lost everything in your life. I never thought I would be able to get my life back in order again. I truly did not. I thought I was going to be like that the rest of my life. I thought that's how I was going to leave this planet, was like that. But with time and hard work and just picking myself back up and remaining to keep holding on to that hope, I've managed to get here, and you can too. I'm nobody special. I'm just a normal guy who had a very, and still do have a very, very bad problem with alcohol. I just didn't drink today. That's the only thing. And I didn't drink yesterday. It's one day at a time. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's not here yet, but we do have right now in this moment, and we can choose to stay sober today. I know that after you quit, that your life's not going to just snap right back. It won't. And I think for a lot of us, sometimes we have this idea in our head that we're going to get sober and everything's going to fix itself like within a week, and it doesn't. And then we get frustrated, and we don't understand why people, aren't trying to mend these relationships with us. They're not trying to fix these things with us because they need time too. They need to heal their wounds. Give it time. Hang in there and just hold on to the hope and keep pushing forward. Like I said a couple weeks ago, just keep swimming. That's all we can do, is just keep swimming. Guys, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here for today. It's gotten dark enough at this point. That light over there just cut on now, so at least you can see me a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow. I'll do a video tomorrow morning. That way I don't have this situation going on again. But I'm sorry about the dark video, guys. I really do. I didn't want to stop and go get a light and have to start all over again, especially at this point. I didn't want to break up the roll. But anyway, like I said, I'll film the video tomorrow morning, and we won't have this issue at all. And before I get off of here as well, I plan on doing a live on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. It's probably going to be Sunday about 6 o'clock. So that'll be 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys there. Any of you all that want to join in, it's just a good time. We just hang out and talk. I mean, that's pretty much it. You guys can comment in there. I read every single one of the comments as I go through the live. So, if you've got a question you've been wanting to ask me or whatever it may be, that's your opportunity to do so. And like I said, it's just a chance for us all to hang out and get to know each other a little bit better. So anyway, with that said, let's see if I can get this light to turn back on. It's a motion sensor light, but I guess not. With that said, with this dark, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. And until tomorrow, I will see you all then. And don't forget about the live that'll be on Sunday at 6 o'clock. Y'all have a great night. I love you guys so much.